Our project is a collaboration with our physics class, and we were told to design a vehicle to practice a race in our classes. Yeah, that's basically our project. And since we're having online classes right now, we're learning a little bit about movement and physics and just designing the car. And then when we get back to school, we will effectively do the race.
So the thing is, I am a huge motorsport fan, especially Formula One. My father actually has an engineering degree, mechanical engineering degree, because he wanted to be part of Formula One. And I actually am thinking about it. I know it's a bit far, but I am very interested in the area in specific. And I actually have a question, and I don't know if our guest here knows, but I'd like to know if actually this process that we are having of actually designing a car, if it's similar, if it's a little bit similar to the real life thing, if it's, you know, similar to the real deal. I just would like to know.
That's a great question. I think the more that you can connect your work to what happens in real fields of practice, real professionals, the better. I would recommend trying to connect with someone, a Formula One racer, to maybe be specific about some things that you're questioning. The designs, the materials you're going to use, how can it connect in the best way possible, the work that you're doing, to the real fields of practice, you know? And maybe you can even think about it by thinking, what would be some things that you would want a professional to critique or to assess in what you're doing, so that they could add an expert opinion on what you're.
My group is working a bit on trying to decompose the Martian ice on the caps into hydrogen and oxygen, and potentially use the hydrogen as a fuel.
Cool.
But we're focusing more on the electrolysis to divide the water.
I was going to say that you could possibly experiment with that at home, or?
Yeah, you can. We just, because of the pandemic and everything, we just haven't got the materials home yet. You only need like one energy source, two maybe carbon, like a pencil-sized carbon thing, and just water, and that's enough to test it.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I think that's a viable option for sure. There's water on Mars to make an energy source out of that, especially because it could be used with like solar energy. You could use that to separate the hydrogen and oxygen.
Yeah, it's something about the projects, because I feel like many times we do things that we really like and we don't have the chance to do it like really and put it on practice. So do you have any tips to like get your project really done? Because we usually just plan it and make some like small designs, and we don't really do a big thing. We just like say, oh, we would do that and that. So
I would suggest just prototyping it, you know, build a small thing. Can I share my screen actually? Can I think prototyping is a way to actually get a hands-on, you know, you can build scaled versions of things. Now, we also have some students, such as this student right here, that her project was she wanted to make a half pipe in her backyard. And so she documented the whole thing, you know, shared her designs. And this was pretty much what she did. But she did this with her father. So she went and got the materials. You know, we talked to her about how that might work. And let me see if I can get to the part where she's actually building it. And then she built the entire thing, you know, her father in the backyard. And let me see if I can get to the actual part where they're skating on it. And they spent, you know, a couple of weeks doing this. There was a lot of math. There was engineering. There was art, because they painted it up in the end, you know, and they built this whole thing here. And that was her project, you know, and it was challenging because we didn't come up with this project idea, but we tried to think of a way to best support the students in ideas that they had. And I think when we're in this online space, if we can engage students in work that they can do in their home, then we are leveraging a capability that we typically did not have in the classroom. In the classrooms, we have everyone. We have all the resources. But if we're allowing students to, you know, connect with their family members, connect with their communities, and build something in their own spaces, then the question becomes, how can we best support that and apply some STEAM thinking to help with their work? So we almost became coaches instead of direct instructors through this project. So this was this project that she did. Anyway.
Um, but it's actually a question more like theoretical about STEAM, because I came to Bungie this year, and in my last school, STEAM was like we only used the concepts we learned in physics class or chemistry, and we did projects with already learned concepts. But here in Bungie, we kind of learn new things, the theory, and then we go and do the real project. Wanted to know how you guys do, if you like only use already learned projects, or if you learn the theory and then you go to the project, or you do it like along the way.
For me, thank you. I think it's a bit of all of it. You know, for me, the best experience is when I am learning with the students, that we are both confronting the same problem. And my role is an adult learner in that space. So I help us navigate, you know, go find the information, connect with people and professionals that might need to do that. But it's exciting when we don't have all the answers and we're trying to figure it out. An ideal project, ideally, and this isn't always the case, would be that in order to move forward in the project, you have to learn new things that are necessary in order to move forward. And so the project dictates the learning rather than trying to learn something in order to do the project.
We'd just like to thank you, Ale and Katya, and you, Andrew, for actually bringing this together. It was actually very eye-opening to see how this project can relate to so many things, to so many other things, rather than just, you know, designing, and, you know, you can relate to so many things, as you've said. And it was actually pretty nice to see how other people things are developing similar ideas. And yeah, thank you. And I hope that next year students actually can also have this talk with you, because this was actually pretty helpful. I'm not going to lie, I thought this was going to just, you know, be another one of those meetings where we actually, you know, just do regular stuff, but this was actually very nice, and it was eye-opening. So thank you.
Thank you, Diogo. That was very nice of you to say. I really appreciate it. You know, I think in the end, we're all just humans and we learn things. And everything we do, everything that has been done has a human story behind it. And I think that's just one way to look at it. And that includes all the subjects, you know, it includes different perspectives that people have. So, hey, thank you. I appreciate that.